What's going on YouTube? So two figures to unbox for you guys. I have the newly released Spiritale 1/7 scale of Mai Sakurajima, as well as the re-released Union Creative 1/6 scale of Albedo. So I think I'm gonna go ahead and start with this one first. So let's go ahead and jump into it. So here we have the box of Albedo. Nothing too crazy. Artwork on both sides. So let's go and get it open. All right, so here she is out of the packaging. It's just the figure and the base itself, so nothing that you actually have to do to put her together. And starting with this base, it's just a really big black circle, matte finish, fingerprint magnet, and this is probably the worst base I've seen on a scale figure ever. I definitely don't have anything worse than this in my collection, at least. And this is just, it's just so lazy. They could have done a little bit more with this, but I would guess, you know, based on the price, this is a 1/6 scale. It's not terrible considering that they didn't add anything in addition to the base, but I would have liked a little bit more. Now jumping to the actual figure, I think she looks terrific. I mean, I really do love the outfit. It's like the main reason that I got this figure. The sweater dress thing that she has going on, it looks so cute. Just how it's kind of coming off of her shoulder. Plenty of cleavage there for you guys. And instead of like that golden thing that goes around her cannon dress, around her chest and whatnot, they just kind of have it kind of dangling there as just a necklace. So I thought that was a nice little touch. But the overall sculpt of her dress and shading looks really well done. And then you come down here to her boots, pretty cute. I think it definitely goes with the overall vibe of Albedo and her outfit itself. Got little spider webs down there, some hearts on the straps. I'm assuming those are supposed to be hearts. And then you have some bows on the back of her heel. So definitely nice little touch there. And then kind of jumping up to her head and whatnot, you have the Ainz Al Ghul kind of bow on her horn. Gotta have some Ainz, you know, paraphernalia on an Albedo figure for sure. And then that little bow around her hand looks adorable as well. So really feeling the overall outfit. Now looking at her face, so Albedo gives us a lot of different facial expressions in the anime, and I will say that this isn't one that we typically see. However, I really do like what they did here. It just goes very well with the overall pose that she's given us. It's just very seductive, I guess you can say. And yeah, I think it just vibes very well with the overall figure. So really no complaints with her facial expression. I think it looks terrific. And then her hair, pretty well done here. Decent amount of detail in the back. But honestly, when you're looking at this from the front, the only hair that you can really see is what's kind of on her face and going across her chest. And that's pretty much it. You can't really see any other hair that's coming down her back. So overall, really do like her hairstyle quite a bit. And then finally we have the wings, and I think the wings are so well done. I mean, just the attention to detail when it comes to like the sculpt, the shading, it just feels like it has a little bit of texture to it as well based on how they painted and shaded it. So a really good job with the wings, and it's not really, you can't really see the wings that well when you're kind of looking at it from the front. It's just because of the way the wings are curving to her front, where it's not really that big of a profile for you to actually see all the detail that they have on the back. So really a great job with the wings. And overall, I love this figure. I've just been looking at her for the past few minutes and I'm already in love with it. And the only negative would be this really crappy base that I had to put her on, but that is just small complaint. I'll live with it. Overall, great figure. And the final figure for this video is, of course, the Spiritale 1/7 scale of Mai Sakurajima. Here we have the actual box. As you can see, it's kind of that clear box all around. Got art print on the back and on the side as well. So let's get it open. All right, so here we have everything out of the packaging and really not much to it. You have the base itself, which is pretty much all put together for you, just like this. You have a lantern, which you got attached to the base. You have a little fan that goes into Mai's hand, and then you have Mai herself. So let's go ahead and look at her first. And she looks terrific. I mean, just looking at her, it looks exactly like Mai. They did a really good job with the eyes. She has a nice smile. I have her, what, 1/8 scale from Aniplex here, just kind of compare. And yeah, I mean, looks just like Mai. They did a really good job with that. Now, just like I thought with the product photos, is that you don't want to look at her straight on. You kind of want to have her a little bit off center when you're looking at her. And that's just because when you look at her left eye, it's definitely a little bit closer to her nose when compared to her right eye. So looking at her off center is definitely the way to go. And I'm assuming once you get her set up on the actual base here, it's going to kind of auto correct that for you so you don't have any issues, at least fingers crossed. And then looking at her hair, so this is the one aspect which I'm not sure how I really feel about. It's a pretty decent sculpt job here, but instead of just going with a black color, they went with that bluish grayish color that kind of leads down to that translucent color at the bottom. And I just kind of wish they just went with black, but maybe, just maybe, what they were trying to do is kind of show a little bit of that moonlight, maybe, and kind of give her hair a little bit of shine since she's sitting on the moon, make it look a little bit more mystical, I guess. So, no, I might be reaching here, but maybe that's just what they were trying to do here. But overall, I mean, I think her hair looks pretty good, and I really very nitpicking here for me, to be honest, because overall I think she looks great. And of course, we have the little bunny hair clip in her hair. And then moving down to her actual outfit, her dress, pretty cute, nice little blue Chinese dress here with some gold trim. Nothing too crazy with a sculpt job and whatnot. Paint job very, evenly applied. Can't find any flaws with it whatsoever. And then her stockings look fine. And then she has some pretty nice heels, kind of a green color with some of that same gold trim that's on her dress. And they gave her an age appropriate heel. Thank you. There are so many figures that I see with heels where the heels are like grandma heels, very thick heel, not that tall whatsoever. These are very skinny heels and a pretty decent height when it comes to the actual heel itself. Overall, definitely like this. I might be talking too much about heels at this point, but she looks great. So let's go ahead and get her set up on the actual base, which I don't think is really that hard. You just kind of stick her butt into this moon peg here. Yeah, she just goes on there pretty snugly. And just like that. And then you have the lantern here with a couple holes on the top that you can stick into these things. And voila. And then you have her fan that just slides into her fingers, I believe. Yep, that's it. So she looks terrific. I mean, yes. This is a wonderful figure. And just like I thought, when you get the base squared off, and I know it's a circular base, but you can tell how it's supposed to be squared off just based on like the clouds on the edge. You can definitely see that she's not looking at you straight on. So they definitely have that looking absolutely right with her eyes and how she's positioned. Yeah, you want to make sure she's squared off based on the clouds themselves, so she's not looking crazy with the eyes. But man, this is just a terrific looking figure. So let's start with the bottom of the base first. So the bottom of the base is supposed to represent some body of water that she's supposed to be floating on, I guess, and it's pretty well done. I would say the base itself is a little bit thicker than what normal bases are, and that really adds to it because you have this like translucent layer at the very top acting as the surface of the water, but you can definitely tell that they painted the very bottom of the base as well, just to kind of add on to the effect of as if you're looking down into some water. And then of course you do have these little ripples in the water as well, where the clouds are actually making contact with the water. So that's pretty cool looking as well. And the clouds themselves look really well done. I really do like the sculpt of the clouds. They do give that Chinese cloud artistic look to them. If you just Google Chinese clouds, you'll probably see what I'm talking about, but really nicely done with the overall sculpt job, and the placement of the clouds themselves look terrific. And finally, you have the moon that she's sitting on. Nothing too crazy here. It looks pretty cool. You have a lantern on one end of it. You have a couple of flowers growing on the moon, and then you have some of these tassels hanging down from the top, which are pretty fragile. They don't actually move. They're very stiff, so be very careful when you're actually touching those. But overall, I mean, the concept of this figure looks terrific. The execution, I can't find really any flaws with it. They really did knock this one out of the park. All right, so that is it for this video. Let me know down in the comments what you guys think of the two figures. Be sure to hit that like button, really supports the channel. Subscribe for more videos, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace.